Hey guys, this is a video I probably should have made weeks if not months ago, as it relates to why content on Sormon has been slow coming. The reality is, my interest in politics is tied closely with my feelings towards the current political state, and quite frankly, current politics are quite depressing. When I began Sormon back in 2018, I was feeling rather optimistic about the future of Australia. I've made no effort to hide the fact that I did not like the coalition government of Scott Morrison, and with polls showing their demise in the 2019 election, I was feeling quite optimistic about the future of Australia, and it was in this optimism that I began my series on each election in Australian history. However, we all know how 2019 turned out. Against the odds, for some reason I still cannot explain to this day, we decided to re-elect the Morrison coalition government. This really depressed me, as Australia would for the next 3 years continue to move away from things I'm passionate about, such as worker rights and environmental protections. This depression would cause a notable drop-off in my election episodes' upload rate, with my previously weekly content dropping down to an almost monthly output, as I no longer had any passion to do videos, and instead did them out of an obligation to finish the series. Luckily, I did get all the videos done in due time, and was able to up the quality of my videos such that the later videos definitely have been of a higher standard. Thankfully, I did find my passion for politics again, thanks in part due to the COVID pandemic. While I might surprise you that I found anything remotely positive about the 2020 lockdowns and COVID mandates, I genuinely enjoyed how the public had rediscovered the importance of governance. After decades of public apathy to our elected leaders, people finally rediscovered why we need governments to help us out, especially in times like a global pandemic. For the first time in years, I generally felt like regular people were interacting with the government, and in return the government was interacting with the people. COVID responses were put into effect, and Australia did somewhat a reasonable job at avoiding the first few waves of the pandemic. Meanwhile, on the global scene, we saw international cooperation to get us a COVID vaccine in record time, and it felt like COVID had brought the world together, even though we were all individually locked down. It was in this era of positivity that I got back into making videos for Sormon, such as my Prime Ministers in the Spotlight series and my video on the election where the winning party did so without their leader. However, these good times in politics didn't last. While Australia as a whole handled the 2020 lockdowns well, the later 2021 lockdowns and slow vaccine rollout definitely didn't go well. While 2022 saw Morrison and the LNP finally lose power after 9 years, things were already taking a turn for the worse. Even when the lockdowns ended and things began to go back to normal, it was clear that things definitely weren't going back to normal in the political sphere. While COVID had initially seemed to heal the division between public and the government, the aftermath saw arguably a more divided society as trust in government seemed to be plummeting. While Labor would win the 2022 election, they did with the lowest first preference vote in almost a century, somehow going even lower than their pathetic 2019 results, despite in my eyes running a pretty solid campaign. This felt like my dreams of seeing a strong relationship between our government and its people were dead, as we'd all gone back to being cynical about one another. If this wasn't bad enough, the last few years have also seen the global community go to hell, with Russia invading Ukraine and Israel going full genocidal against the Palestinians. Meanwhile, anti-immigration sentiment is on the rise worldwide, and with it massive upticks in racism, which is a topic that just leaves me depressed as I see how much people hate one another. Thus, I hope you can see why politics is not fun to be doing videos on at the moment. Instead, I've decided to focus my efforts towards my other channel, Xenosanctum, where I can instead talk about my favourite video games instead of how messed up the world is right now. So if videos on the Tales series and Xenoblade series interest you, check me out over there. In the meantime, it's not as if Sormon will be dead, just limited with the content I'll be uploading. Electorates and shorts will continue to get weekly uploads, as we've just gone past the halfway mark. As for longer form videos, the Queensland State video is still a long way off. However, I do have another interview in the works. I won't tell you who it's with, only that they are a pretty high profile politician, so look forward to that next month. I'm also planning to go up to the NT in August to visit my extended family and cover the election happening up there. In the meantime, I want to thank you for your support you've given me over this year. The 2 videos I did recently on New South Wales and Victoria did surprisingly well compared to my normal content, and I also want to thank you for the questions you gave me and Aussies Elect when we did our election preview. So this isn't goodbye, as much as it's a note not to expect too much from the channel at the moment. So in the meantime, please enjoy the videos I've already made, as well as next week's electorate and short. Until then, I'll see you later.